Welcome back to another UFC fight prediction video. In this video, I'll be predicting the main card fights for UFC Fight Night on ESPN Plus, Jedrzejczyk versus Watterson. So without further ado, let's get to our first fight on the main card. So in our first fight on the main card, we have in the middleweight division, Eryk Anders versus Meerschaert. So Anders is returning to the middleweight division after spending some time up at light heavyweight. I think what he got, like one win at light heavyweight. Like one win at light heavyweight, like two losses at light heavyweight. And he's like, I got to drop back now. I guess Meerschaert, he hasn't been stuck at middleweight, but he's been at middleweight the whole time. Hasn't moved up, hasn't moved down. So you got an interesting matchup right here. I think this is really a kind of a tough matchup, low key. I think a lot of people going to lean to the Anders, but it's a matchup that can very much go either way, especially when you look at how much difficulty Anders had with Tim Williams, like with the grappling, with the striking, just overall it was just like an awkward fight, and that was just because Tim Williams was implementing like at least pressure with the grappling. Like he wasn't always going for takedowns, but the fact that they were there and that when he took Anders down or attempted to take Anders down, that Anders had struggled in those areas, it allowed Tim Williams to open up on the feet. And I think Meerschaert is a better version of Tim Williams, at least better at what Tim Williams does. He has better takedown offense. He has better grappling. He's a better striker than Tim Williams. Maybe he's not as physically tough as Tim Williams, but other than that, he's pretty much better in every area than Tim Williams. So this is a very tough fight. Anders is returning to 185. But Anders is a tough guy. You saw in that Khalil Roundtree fight, he took some crazy damage, but still made the decision. He was taking pretty much everything Thiago Santos had to throw at him, but got stopped more so due to exhaustion than like physical damage. So Anders is a tough guy. Only one TKO finish in his whole career. Only one TKO loss, only one finished loss in his whole career. And that was to Thiago Santos in a 5-round fight on short notice due to exhaustion. Usually Thiago Santos knocking everybody out. So very tough guy. So if Meerschaert win, I think it's going to be like a decision, one of those decisions where Meerschaert kind of grinds out a decision, taking him down, controlling him on the ground. But other than that, I think it's going to be that type of Meerschaert's fight to win it. That's the only way Meerschaert will win. But all that being said, I'm going to leave to Anders. I feel like Anders is the better striker, definitely carries more power. I think he's definitely going to be focused on that takedown defense in this fight, so he doesn't have to worry about it too much, so that he can let his hands go, so like when he can be very reactive to these shots and then keep the fight on the feet, land those big shots that he's known for, but not like he's never been like a sloppy striker. He's a very clean striker. He stays always, he doesn't run over his punches. He puts his power right where it needs to be, sets his shots up well and throws them. He might not be no world-class, crazy level striker, but he's solid as far as it goes, and he's a very physical, athletic fighter. And I feel like he'll keep that in mind, especially remembering that Tim Williams fight. Just not like and come back down there, focus on the takedown defense, and just put your shots on the money and let his hands do his work, the work that he need to do. So I feel like this is gonna be a very competitive fight. I feel like Meerschaert's still gonna have some success with his grappling. I feel like Anders is gonna be able to keep the fight on the feet enough, and keep it in his realm enough, and be able to plant and land these big shots, defend the takedown. That's gonna be more so the story of the fight. And I think he actually stops Meerschaert late in this fight. So in this fight, I got Eryk Anders via 3rd round TKO. Now to our next fight we have in the lightweight division, Matt Frevola versus Pena. So Pena is coming back up from the 145 division, came on in the UFC in the 155 division. I think he had one win, then he had one loss, then he dropped down. I guess as soon as he lost, I got to change up. Then he has 2 or 3 wins at 145, so I guess maybe that weight cut's getting difficult. So he's coming back up. Matt Frevola, I think came and got knocked up by Polo Reyes. Then had a draw with Venata. Then he just beat some other guy, Jalen Turner. So yeah, they're both kind of had losses and they were bounded from them. Pena's come back to 155. So how I see this fight, I see that Frevola's a 4-round talent, definitely tough, as you saw from the Venata fight. Took several big shots, got rocked, kept coming back, and stayed in the fight and made it a draw. And when it really could have been him getting finished, or a fight where he lost, he came back hard, he got hurt, he came back even harder. That's always shows a good sign of toughness and what a fighter is. He did get stopped by Polo Reyes, but everybody can get caught. It can happen. But so like when he can recover, he will recover, and he's a fighter. But everyone has a shot. You can get hit and you can't recover from it, and it happens. So he's a solid fighter, solid grappling, solid striking. But I've seen this fight. Pena is the much taller fighter at 6'3". He knows how to use that range and getting better at it. Very creative with it. So I'll say Pena will definitely have the striking advantage in my opinion. I think Frevola might have offensive grappling advantage as far as the takedowns and control. But I feel like Pena's counter wrestling, defense wrestling is pretty solid. I think he'll be able to keep it on his feet. If it does get on the ground, he can be able to reverse it. I think mostly just keep the fight on the feet, use his range, use his speed, and use his unorthodox, versatile striking to really make it a hard fight for Frevola on the feet as far as like trying to judge what's coming next or judge get a beat on his rhythm or his timing. I think most probably it's going to be Luis Pena doing volume. Whether it's landing or not, it's going to be setting up other strikes, or it's going to be deterring Frevola from doing his own offense and put him further on the outside. So those shots he's going to shoot going to come in, be even more easy to read, because he's going to have to come in on this much longer guy, this flexible, very scrambly guy. It's going to be hard to get those shots, even get in on the shots. Then when you get on the shots, like I said, Pena's very good at scrambling, get at reversals. So I see it's a very tough fight for Frevola. And I see Pena fully exploiting his speed and his unorthodoxness and his striking. And I feel like it's still gonna be a competitive fight nonetheless. Like I said, Frevola's a gamer, but I feel like the volume of Pena, the striking, and like the versatility is gonna be the difference in this fight. But I see Pena winning a decision in this one. So in this fight, I have Luis Pena or Crazy Bob Ross via decision. Now to our next fight, we have in the women's strawweight division, Mackenzie Dern versus Amanda Ribas. So Mackenzie Dern, I think last fought in 2018, like around June, and then she got pregnant and then had a baby. And I think she just had a baby in June of this year or something like that. Whether she got pregnant in June, I think it definitely she just had the kid in June. And now she's making a quick return. So that's like July, August, September, October. So she had in 3 months, really less than that. She probably took a month off after having the baby, then instantly went to camp and trained hard. So it's a quick return. I think that's the only real side that Ribas might have an advantage, because she's been active. She might be fresher, didn't just have a baby or nothing, so she could push a higher pace that maybe Dern won't have at the moment. Maybe try to keep on the feet, not grapple with her. But looking at Ribas, she's more so a grappler anyway. And the difference is that Dern is just a whole different level of grappler. She's has dozens of world championships. She's a different level of grappler. Ribas is good, but Dern is on a whole different level. So stuff like Ribas is going to play right into her style, try to grapple with her, probably going to try to strike with her a little bit. But I feel like Dern's going to be able to, take it to her realm. And even if Ribas doesn't oblige from the jump, I feel like over time Dern's going to wear on her. It's going to be kind of one of these gritty fights where Dern's going to have to get reintroduced back to MMA, back to that grind. It's not going to be no smooth fight. It's going to be rough. But I feel like it's going to be like a 30-27 type of fight because, like I said, Dern is just in a different level. They both kind of do the same thing, but Dern is on a much different level with her grappling. But I feel like she's going to have to really earn everything she's doing in this fight. It's not going to be no easy cakewalk, but it's going to be still going to be Dern controlling the fight. And I think she's going to grit out a 30-27. It's going to be competitive and tough, but it's going to be really, I think, Dern clearly winning these rounds. So in this fight, I got Mackenzie Dern via decision. Now to our co-main event, we have in the featherweight division, Cub Swanson versus Gracie. So Cub Swanson is in a weird spot right now. He's on a 4-fight losing streak. Probably should have been cut either a fight or two ago. Not really because he's not that good anymore or not good enough. I think he just doesn't turn any fights down. He just fought Shane Burgos. He was 0-3. I mean, he was on a 3-fight losing streak, and he fought Shane Burgos, a fighter that's definitely on the rise, not a cakewalk. It's a fighter that definitely would probably challenge either people that will eventually go on to win titles, or challenge for titles, or potentially challenge for a title himself, if not win the title. He's a very solid fighter. And Cub Swanson for him when Cub Swanson himself was already on a 3-fight losing streak. So Cub Swanson's not taking easy fights, and this is another fight that's not an easy fight. Why are you fighting Gracie? He could easily take an easier fight, maybe an Alex Caceres, or maybe this person, maybe that person, or maybe what's his name? Any one of these fighters that kind of like not even mid-level, well, mid-level or below, but he's fighting these guys that are trying to come in and take over the division. Not these guys that are trying to come in and be a part of the division, but guys that are trying to come in and make statements, trying to go for the belt and have real viable chances at challenging for the belt and winning the belt. And you could definitely see it by fighting Gracie, one of the Gracie family members. You already know about the Gracie. The name says itself to be pretty much the founders of modern MMA. So. And Gracie, he doesn't just have the name; he has the accolades as well. He's his own man, and he's been has an accomplished career in grappling, and he's been looking good in MMA. So I think but now let's get into the prediction between these two. I feel like Gracie certainly has been working on his striking and all that stuff, and is certainly solid. But I feel like Cub Swanson's still the much better striker, and there's no ifs and or buts about that. Probably a better overall MMA fighter, but like I said, he's on a downtrend right now. Gracie has all the steam behind him, so he has momentum, he has the youth, he has pretty much everything on his side right now. Gracie. And I feel like this could play a lot like the Brian Ortega fight, except that I don't think Gracie's gonna take as much damage because Brian Ortega does like to take a damage a lot. I don't think that's gonna be the same with Gracie. Gracie's been working and striking with the Diaz brothers, etc., etc. He's been doing well. I think he's gonna do better with judging the range and judging his timing on his shots. And probably get Cub Swanson down. That's his whole game plan, get Cub Swanson down. He's going to try to strike with Cub Swanson too much. he will oblige it a little bit to get in the takedown, but he's not going to go out there and just be a punching bag for Cus Swanson strike. He's definitely be aggressive with the takedown. And if you think Brian Ortega was dangerous on the ground, Kron Gracie is a different level than Brian Ortega. I'm not underwriting, I'm not belittling what's called Brian Ortega, but Kron Gracie's accolades are just speak for himself, the name speaks for itself. And if they're going to have an issue with that saying, then they could compete in the grappling match, and I would definitely watch it, but I would say Kron Gracie's the better grappler between the two, better Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioner between the two. I don't think Brian Ortega really competed at a high level. It's like the highest level of grappling. I think he kind of competed at like the mid-tier levels, whereas Kron Gracie was a stud at the highest level. So I feel like that's what's going to happen. Striking definitely could go to Cus Swanson. I mean, definitely will go to Cus Swanson. He definitely has a chance. He's an underrated grappler, always has been. Striking very slick, very unpredictable. But I feel like the tape has already been out there on Cus Swanson. I think really Kron Gracie is going to be aggressive with the takedown, secure it, and they'll probably be able to get a submission in. Maybe not in the first, but I'll say definitely in the second. So in this fight, I got Kron Gracie via second round submission. Now to our main event, we have in the women's strawweight division, Joanna Jedrzejczyk versus Meerschaert Watterson. So this is a pretty decent fight right here. Even though I think the prediction is pretty clear for this one. I think Meerschaert Watterson is solid and all that. She's a very, in a way, I think she kind of has limited skill set all around in a way. But she's very versatile at using those limited skills. Like she can do that little stepping side kick, but she can do it in a lot of different ways from a lot of different angles. That's really like the whole thing of her game. She might come in with these little blitzes. Then she might come in and she'll hit them with a stepping side kick, kick them off balance. Or maybe try to turn around with like a switch kick or something. But it's really like all kind of come from the same, like the same tool set. She used the same stuff, but in different ways, not too much different stuff from what she brings. And I feel like Joanna Jedrzejczyk is just a higher level striker, even though you might say, oh, that kick does more than what Joanna does. But Joanna got like jabs, she got switch stance, she got knees, flying knees, got all this different stuff, leg kicks, throws more volume, different angles and stuff. Like, really just different angles, different looks than Meerschaert Watterson gives. She gives the same look just in different ways, whereas Joanna Jedrzejczyk can actually do different looks from different angles and different stuff. And as far as you can say, a comparison of a fight or style that maybe Meerschaert Watterson might have an edge or have a chance against her is maybe the Carolina fight. But Carolina's grappling grappling defense isn't as good as Joanna Jedrzejczyk. Because Joanna, when Claudia got taken down, was able to, be on the ground with a lot of good grapplers, be able to get back to her feet, defend herself on the ground, get back to her feet. I think she's fought better grapplers than Meerschaert Watterson. She's fought better strikers than Meerschaert Watterson. I certainly think that Meerschaert Watterson is probably the best she's ever been at the moment. And it's certainly this is her best chance to, achieve the most in her career at this given moment. But I feel like Joanna, like the pace, the volume, the pressure, she's not going to let Meerschaert Watterson get off with these little stepping side kicks. She'll probably be catching those side kicks, going to the body, going to the head, cutting off the cage, and just chewing Meerschaert Watterson up. And if Meerschaert Watterson try to go for these little trips or little steps off and stuff like that, these little takedowns, really her takedowns, a lot of takedowns she go for are overcommitted takedowns. I think she stole some of those from like Paige Van Zandt, and I guess she kept getting away with it. But at the level that Joanna Jedrzejczyk is, and her skill level, she'll probably counter those little takedowns, like those little, I'm not even forgetting the name of it right now, but you'll forget like those takedowns will give up your back a lot. I feel like Joanna will be able to pretty much reverse those takedowns, or at least counter them, or at least defend them, which will end up with Meerschaert Watterson in bad position. I don't think Joanna can go out there and grapple with her necessarily. Might get in a couple shots when Meerschaert Watterson go for, I guess, overcommits to some of these takedowns. But I don't think she can go out there and try to take her back and submit her or nothing like that. And even then, I think Meerschaert Watterson probably be able to get back to her guard because she's a solid grappler. I think as far as grappling overall, Meerschaert Watterson is better. But as far as MMA grappling and what's going to happen in this fight, I feel like Joanna can negate a lot of what Watterson is doing and just get it back to the feet or gain the better position in these type of situations, in these scrambles, just for a little bit of time, but not for a long bit of time. But yeah, to kind of sum it up, I feel like Joanna's going to, like I said, she's going to pressure, defend a lot of little stepping side kicks to the body, or avoid them, make the ring very small, pick her apart, throw the volume, mix to the high and low, probably hit her with some low leg kicks to cut off some of her movement and just chew her apart. I think it's gonna be a competitive fight nonetheless. Like I said, Meerschaert Watterson's a gamer, Joanna's a gamer. Both of them are roughly in their MMA prime at the moment. Like I think Watterson will be game, but like I said, the volume, the pressure, cutting off the cage, making the cage very small is gonna be what I feel like Joanna's gonna do. And this is gonna be a 5-round fight, and I feel that Joanna stops her late in this fight. So, and I think it's gonna be around the 4th round. Like the first 3 rounds, gonna be filling out, trying to cut her off, make the cage small. In the earlier rounds, Meerschaert Watterson's gonna be quick. She's gonna be hard to really cut off and really get to. But as the fight goes on, that speed's not gonna be there as much, and her timing and all that stuff gonna be getting read. It's gonna be getting read like a buck by the better striker in my opinion. Thinking that fourth round, like the 3 rounds been like kind of fill her out and kind of break her down. Then that fourth round, she's gonna put her away. So in this fight, I got Joanna Jedrzejczyk via 4th round TKO. And that concludes my fight predictions for the main card of UFC Fight Night on ESPN Plus, Jedrzejczyk versus Watterson. And as always, thanks for watching.